Hello and welcome back, friends, family, and frenemies. We're live once again, out of that warp bubble, locked in orbit around our closest celestial object. And as always, Reactor 4 is in charge mode. So we're good. We're live. So welcome back. I know last stream was a bit short. I apologize about that. We did do a little bit of roam content to try to find some Capsuleer Day stuff. There's been a bit of a change up since then, apparently, too. You have to choose a faction now, so we're going to be getting into that a little bit and finding out what that's all about. And pretty much from there, we're just gonna just kind of roam around and see what we can find. Going to go back to those data sites after we look into a few extra things surrounding some of the rewards that come into that come into play for the Capsuleer Day stuffs, if you will. But before that, you know, Fanfest is firmly behind us. Last day was Saturday, and I hope everybody that joined Fanfest was able to make it home safely. I know I've been watching the Twitter feeds, and I saw that a few of them got stuck. They got stuck back in Reykjavik because of the plague. So I hope they're doing well. I hope their symptoms are mild, and I hope they'll be able to make it home safe and sound once all that blows over for them. It sucks that they ended up getting sick and they got held up, but you know, what can you do? That's the times. Not much else you can do about that, right? But needless to say, it sounded like, based on what I saw and what I was reading, it seemed like it was a really good event. Sounded like a really good event. There were lots of pictures that came out of the whole thing. Lots of just post FanFest and in between FanFest event stuff that everybody did. Looked like there was a lot of fun, and hopefully things abate enough next year that when they have this kind of an event, we won't have to worry as much about people getting stuck and left behind because of the plague. It's an unfortunate event, but it looked like it was a lot of fun regardless. So we're going to be going over that. Also, we got some patch notes, the Sov map stuff to go over, pretty much the general stuff. And of course, my ever curious as to why CCP chooses a weird staticky background for their Starscape background on their website for some things. Hey, CSH. Yeah, I was looking over it, and we'll look it over in detail here. I think the problem was that the content just wasn't what they have to deliver. Is one, it's stuff that we were asking for. I do agree with that. And two, I think it's just a bit more of a mix of, like I said, stuff we were asking for to begin with for years, and the way it was delivered wasn't exactly more than like a, hey, wait later when we announce more about this. So yeah, and that's fair. And I think a lot of people are going to have that exact same, that exact same feeling. And I think a lot of people did, honestly. I don't know, personally. As I've said in previous streams, there is a line, for us as the players. We have to be, we're doing this for entertainment. We're doing this to get away from our everyday lives. But at the same time, you also want to, if there's going to be a price increase like this, which is honestly setting a precedent for other MMOs, there has to be some real hard delivery behind it. It can't just be a lot of, hey, here's content we know you've been asking for. Oh, and also wait and see what it's going to turn out to be. And I do hope that their communication gets better in those regards. I think these past couple of years of lockdowns and work from homes and things like that have really shaken a lot of things up in ways that nobody really expected. And as a result, companies, I think, are still scrambling to figure this out and understand how things work. And we've got a case of CCP who lives in GMT 00, I believe. And because that's where EVE servers are at, or that's what EVE servers go off of, is GMT 00:00. And now, and they cater to players, Capsuleers all over the world. It's just really, really mind-boggling. You don't have a lot of MMOs that can successfully say, we've got thousands, tens of thousands of players logging in from all over the world. There are very few. There's only a handful that can really boast about that. So CCP is in a really good position to say that they are one of them, but their content delivery and everything does need it does need some work, like at least on how they show it to the world, and how they deliver it to the world. Because it honestly, when it comes out, it could be better than what they're making it sound like on the surface. And we just won't know until we get the content and we can actually review it for ourselves and see. So after reading the Fanfest, recaps, myself, I do feel more confident about the direction of EVE Online. Again, the price hike confidence isn't quite there for me either. But so I really hope this doesn't like badly hurt the game before it can really find its legs during this post plague world that we're now being faced with, or near post plague world, I should say, because we're not quite out of it yet, right? Or well, I guess I should say you guys, because I'm out in space, so right. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get over to it, and we're gonna go through everything and go from there. And then we'll also talk about the Synesis, the destroyer that's going to be given away during the Capsuleer day. If you're anybody that's not like me, you're going to be probably already in possession of one. I've missed a few days, so I didn't get one yet. I think I'm getting mine tomorrow, or something like that, because I was a bit of a doob and I didn't grab it in time. I just completely spaced on it. All right, let's go ahead and switch over, and we'll get through some of the content here. All right. First thing to note is the patch notes. This one released on the 6th. This was literally Friday. This was literally Fanfest day, like day one of all the keynotes and stuff. They announced another event. The mysterious figure known only as the Deathless has broadcast a message to Capsuleers across New Eden, challenging them to side with his smuggling organization against Concord, and has shared the information required to find Concord occupied sites in all areas of space. So this, yeah, I had to make it Misa. After Capsuleers drove the smugglers from some of their strongholds across New Eden, Concord's infamous Special Affairs for Regulations and Order, SARO, division has taken residence within these complexes for their own purposes. The Deathless and the smugglers are offering to reward Capsuleers who attack these locations and drive away the SARO forces. Confiscated smuggler hideout combat sites are appearing all over New Eden. These sites can be found using your ship's built-in anomaly scanner. The acceleration gate used to enter these sites will only allow access to ships of battlecruiser size or lower. So Concord advises bringing a combat battlecruiser to defeat the hostiles inside. Faction cruisers, heavy assault cruisers, strategic cruisers, and command ships are also excellent options when available. I want to point out, this is not going to be specifically Nubro or low SP accessible content, more than likely. So keep that in mind. This isn't this probably won't be like for you if you're the Nubro or you're the low SP pilot. That's just how it goes because of the ship classes that they're asking for. Just like previously, just like what we were talking about on Thursday, these combat sites are a little bit higher tier than what we're good for. That's just the way it goes sometimes with some of these events. Rare and valuable confiscated smuggler Stargate sites can be found all across low-tech space. These more difficult combat sites can also be found using the anomaly scanner and have the same ship restrictions as the hideouts. Bringing a friend to help will make overcoming the numerous hostile Sorrow ships in these sites much more manageable. Concord mobile impound lot hacking sites can also be found all over New Eden. These sites can be found using scanner probes, and a data analyzer module will be required in order to liberate the valuable loot inside. This, I can tell you, will be New Bro accessible, low SP accessible. You really don't need much in the way of SP to get a hold of this. So this is going to be a great way for us to make a little bit of ISK during these events. And in all honesty, this is a great kind of lead-in for the lower SP players, or even the new bros or alpha alts, because of that. Long-time players that went and kind of had to get shuffled back to alpha, you know, if you've got 50 or 70 million SP and you've taken the time to flesh out your training programs well before you went alpha, you'll likely be able to do some of those smuggler sites, the combat sites up here, because you're going to have the ships or the ability to pilot ships. And even if you're going to do a little bit lower DPS, you're still going to be able to do the sites, you know, probably pretty effectively. So, and that's just my assessment on that. There's no actual guarantee, obviously, because I haven't played them. I haven't really looked into them. But I would think that if you're kind of sporting a 20 million plus SP alpha, you're probably okay. So the mobile impound storage hacking sites can be found in low sec, providing increased rewards along with tougher hacking challenges. So keep in mind, these are all going to be in low sec as well. So venture with caution, our new bro and alpha player friends. You won't have the option of a stealth, a stealth module. So you want to make sure that you take your precautions as you need to. A new agency challenge track has become available, giving Capsuleers the option of receiving rewards for attacking Sorrow instead of attacking the smugglers. Each Capsuleer can now make a choice between the Concord challenges and the smuggler challenges when they log on and open the encounter section of the agency. If you have already completed challenges from the Concord side, you can freely choose to continue that track or switch to the smuggler side for the duration of this event. So there you go. They will not be penalized for shooting both sides in this event, but only one side's agency challenge track can be selected from this point onwards. So that's pretty cool. They did add this secondarily. I'm not sure why they had to wait a little bit to do it, but at least it's now in there. And then the first of the Capsuleer Day Abyssal Proving Grounds events has begun. It's a team event welcoming teams of 2 Navy frigates. Allowed ship types are the Imperial Navy Slicer, Caldari Navy Hookbill, Federation Navy Comet, Republic Fleet Firetail, Crucifier Navy Issue, Griffin Navy Issue, Mollusk Navy Issue, and Vigil Fleet Issue. I actually don't think there's a Navy frigate that they didn't allow. I could be wrong, but it sure seems like they allowed them all. Anyways, fleets entering this proving ground can include a maximum of 1 vessel of any single ship type. All ships within the proving ground will receive a special Capsuleer Data bonus that increases turret and missile damage by 19%. Increases ship velocity by 19%, increases sensor strength by 19%, and reduces ship signature radius by 19%. Wow, that's a lot of S's. A whole lot of S's. During this Proving Ground event, the arena environment will contain large numbers of buff and debuff Nexus objects that will explode and apply various 19% weapon and mobility buffs or debuffs respectively when approached by Capsuleer ships. Sensor dampeners, weapon disruptors, shield boost amplifiers, shield rechargers, shield power relays, shield flux coils, and core defense field purgers are banned in this proving format. Okay. Ships entering this proving ground may have a maximum of 1 local rep module, fitted, shield, or armor. During this proving ground event, the Triglavian Cladistic caches available to the winners of each proving match will contain roughly twice as many Triglavian survey data as usual. Double the cash. I like it. So that's pretty much it for the patches. The last one, the last group that they had, the last little patch they had, we already covered last stream. So that's pretty cool. They kind of enhanced the overall, event, which kind of ties in with some of what CCP was talking about in some of their keynotes and roundtables, how they were trying to essentially give more of a story. And so it's good to see that they're playing around with this a little bit, even if they're kind of haphazardly doing it in some ways, but that's just me. That's just me kind of thinking off the top. Let's see. Let's get off here and we'll go on to the day one roundup, which I'm sure, I know this is like I said, slightly older. Everybody's had the whole weekend to read this. So I'm sure that everybody's got. Hey, thanks for the follow, Neon Olympus. I appreciate it. Like I was saying, I'm sure everybody's had the weekend to read all this and kind of go through it. I'm just going to kind of touch on it a little bit, hopefully, rather than just go all out and read it like I usually do. But let's go into, let's just go ahead and go over some of the highlights. This is all on CCP's main, or EVE Online's, main site, eveonline.com. They're going to have this up for a little bit. It's also on our launcher screens, so, I mean, feel free to really kind of read it in depth just to see what you think. They've got a link to the VOD from the keynotes, and yeah, it's worth a watch. I haven't actually watched it. I'd prefer to just kind of read the highlights and cliff notes. That way I get a good idea of how things go. It's just how I do things with articles and such. So they're talking about narrative arcs and expansions. A narrative approach to development is being introduced through arcs that allow you to participate in the story and directly impact New Eden and influence new features. Let's see here. So they're planning on releasing the first arc over the next few months with plenty for players to discover and unlock. And then they're reintroducing expansions back into EVE, with the first one expected to arrive in Q4 2022. For those of you who don't maybe fully understand what that means, the fact that they're introducing a narrative like this, and how the story and the arcs unfold. There was a game, I believe it was an MMO at some point. I want to say it was called Clear Skies, and there was a corresponding series along with it. So it was like you had the series, and as the series played out, you saw the effects in the game. It was one of those things, and I believe the way they had tooled the series is they did it in such a way that what happened in the game could affect the series, and then the series also was kind of a reflection. So the series was a reflection of what happened in the game, and then I believe things that happened in the series were emulated back into the game as well for players to kind of digest the content. That's a little bit, I think, of what they're talking about there. I'm probably overthinking that a little too much, but it's interesting to think that they're that's kind of what they're doing, because that was one of the things that was heard, I think, on the roundtables is something at least along those lines to some degree. And I may not have that right, but that was my understanding at least. Factional Warfare is getting a buff, which is, to what they're doing rather with Factional Warfare is getting a buff, which is great because Factional Warfare has seen an uptick recently. So the idea that there's a lot of people that are actually going to be essentially going in and checking out, or checking out Factional Warfare for the first time, or maybe going back in and then they're doing this on top of that. This is really going to show, this is really kind of showing that CCP is caring about at least some of their content. They point out that it's always been an incredible part of EVE Online that has consistently yielded amazing player-driven stories, which is very true. There's a lot of player-driven content through Factional Warfare, but they're making it even better as a primary focus through future updates, expansions, and more. They've planned a narrative story and player-driven events. They're going to use Factional Warfare as a vehicle to bring updates to many areas of the game. So they're going to spill out into other areas as well. This is kind of more the clear skies with the MMO type of thing that I was talking about as well. So they're talking about including like things that get modified and changed, like structure, mechanics, territory control, new ships, modules, and balance updates, even brand new activities, both inside of Factional Warfare and beyond. So that's pretty good stuff to see, actually. They're going to update how players declare their allegiance to factions in EVE. We'll be introducing a new allegiance system, allowing pilots to participate in Factional Warfare content, potentially even without having to leave their current corporations. I'm very excited about that. Extremely excited. While it's great to have a corporation dedicated to Factional Warfare, the idea that you don't have to leave your corp just to go kind of poke around and play at the content, that's great. That's exactly how, because sometimes you just want to go out and solo PvP, or you just want to do like an NPSI or something like that. And this is kind of a great lead into something like that, at least to some degree. They're going to continue updating and making changes to the deployment, use, and role of structures beyond the latest Siege Screen update, coming on the 10th of May. So that's actually coming out tomorrow for those of you keeping track, including within the zones of Factional Warfare. So keep an eye out. And we'll be going over the Siege Green update on Thursday. So definitely tune in. It's going to be a good one. They got new plans for Frontline systems within Factional Warfare. And let me open this image in a new tab. So they've got a way to clearly mark on the map in game, so you know where the action's at. And they'll offer increased rewards for pilots that scramble to help and potentially even new unique content. But it is in a very early exploratory phase, and they're gonna share it with the next keynote, or the next article that we're gonna be going over here in a minute. And then of course, identity and social interaction. I'll get onto that in a second. So here's the Frontline systems. As it shows right here, like, you've got your Frontline systems right here, and then command operations, which makes sense, and then rear guard, and you got your objective systems. So this is essentially kind of their map for how they think it's gonna, kind of in their heads on how it should work. And I agree with it. And if this becomes dynamic, like what they're talking about, or like you'll see when we go into the next article, this is gonna really bolster Factional Warfare. Think this map reminds me a lot of a game that I used to play called PlanetSide 2. It's a free to play first person shooter, kind of a massive world type thing. You have to go to different zones, collect and capture different bases with your units, and there was only, in that one there's 3 factions to play, and this was kind of, so this kind of has a lot of those same vibes. Capturing bases, capturing land, so that way you can roll out and continue pushing forward with your group, with your team, and then of course the ability to just kind of jump in at a moment's notice. So that's good. I'm really glad to see that they're kind of going along with that, because I think that's going to do a lot of good for EVE Online, for Faction Warfare, just with the way, honestly, it probably should have been shaped to begin with. So their next thing was talking about social interaction and identity. They want to provide us the ability to display our unique identity and loyalty on our ships and hangars throughout Alliance logos, visual changes to our ships, holograms that reflect our social standings, kill marks, structure skins, and other customizations attainable through Interbus credits, which is a new in-game currency. I wonder if that means I'm finally going to be able to rep Sisters of Eve like I've always wanted to do. That would be really cool. I would love to do that. Okay, and maybe Spoopy too. Maybe Spoopy. But anyway, Interbus credits can only be earned in-game. They can never be traded between characters, sold, and do not have a fixed exchange rate to any other currencies. That's kind of a big thing. I don't know why they're including another currency for this, but at the same time, it's not unheard of for MMOs to have multiple types of currency. Think WoW, for instance. You know, WoW's got definitely more than one type of currency. It's like each expansion, each season has a new currency. It's crazy. But at any rate, there you go. So, and they're also evolving the new player experience. It's their long-term focus. A lot of exciting updates, apparently. There's a new exploration arc that's going to be added to the NPE in early fall 2022, making the third installment in the story that welcomes the Star Cluster's freshest pilots. That's actually really exciting. I may be checking that out. We're also overhauling the career agents and introducing a new air career program to help players get into their EVE career. There's also been significant work put towards skill plans in EVE. And yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. The introduction of certified skill plans with the ability to create corporation skill plans coming at the end of 2022. Thank Bob. Gosh, we've needed that for a long... This should have been a thing back when they did the skill plan overhaul thing that they did. Like last year, I think it was. But I'm so glad that they're doing this. But yeah, I'm really looking forward. Yeah, exactly. Hell to the... Yeah, yes. There's also some exciting changes that will benefit veterans as well, including a rebalancing of all skills, removal of character attributes, and a complete overhaul of learning implants. And they're going to do a deeper dive on the main stage on Saturday. So that's really good. Confessor doctrine for everybody. Yes. It would be great if everybody got a confessor doctrine. Like, I mean, just the idea you could just pop in a skill plan from your corp, like, oh, we want you in confessors. Here, now you know how to do it. Great. 2 weeks later, you're in a confessor. It's great. And they're welcoming Spanish-speaking players to EVE. So they've brought in the Spanish version of the EVE client is incoming, and so they're getting ready to localize this in Espanol. Awesome stuff. Spreadsheets in space, EVE x Microsoft. That's a long time coming. Oh gosh, is the Russian version really bad? Oh. You're gonna be able to import export into Microsoft Excel. There are jokes about how, oh gosh. We're leaning into the phrase spreadsheets in space by partnering with Microsoft on a project revolving around democratization of data in EVE Online. So they're going to release an extension that feeds data from EVE directly into Excel without any technical experience needed. I really hope they also do a thing that lets us feed this into like OpenOffice or Google Sheets too, because that would be really cool if we could do that. And they're going to share the prototype for it later this year. Yeah, exactly. If they can do it to like Google Sheets or Open Office, this would be great. Yeah, because Microsoft products are like really expensive. Like you can get the exact same features in Google Docs alone, and Google Docs is very robust. I think it's got limitations because it's on the web. It's a web API. I haven't personally encountered those because I do like really simple spreadsheet stuff, or at least back when I did it. But like Open Office would use your computer's power anyways. And that one's a little bit harder to get just because of how they've tailored it, but it's supposed to essentially mirror Excel in a lot of ways. And I mean, unless you are using Microsoft products anyways, you're not going to have access to Excel. So if they can find a way to kind of incorporate that to some degree, that'd be better. But that's, you know, that's what I was thinking. They've got a hardcover of Capsuleer Chronicles coming. So, BBA acceptable. Okay. BBA. All right. Well, I mean, we'll just have to take a look at what they've got once they finally launch their prototype out. Again, more of that, hey, we've got these things, but we can't say much about them. This was more of that communication that I was talking about in the very beginning. Like they just need to iterate better. They need to have something more concrete if they're going to do something like this. But they were excited for Fanfest, so I guess you can't really blame them too much. Can we? Yeah, we can. A little bit, at least a little bit. Right? Capsuleer Chronicles second issue is out now and free to download, and they're going to have 2 more issues, and the hardcover of all 4 is expected at the end of the year. You can totally blame them. Yeah, it's their thing. How dare you, CCP? No, just try to work it out better. Modernizing Eve for the next decade. The keynote also includes a number of other announcements that plot out the next decade. They're going to modernize Eve Online through significant improvements to the UI. I seriously hope that whatever they've got in their beta turns out better than what it's currently at. Oh, hey, Algazel. Okay, I didn't even realize that was you. I don't know names from, yeah, you know. But, you know, it's good to see you. It's real good to see you. There we go. So yeah, here they're talking about improving their Photon UI, and gosh, did they need to improve that? If it gets released today, it's just not ready. We're also continuing to explore other UI elements, such as allowing multiple overviews. That might be okay. We're investing heavily in improving the overall visual and audio experience of EVE Online. Art team, top notch. Multiple visual enhancements are planned that will improve the look and experience of EVE. Yeah, open the UI item. I agree. If I mean, we've already got at least some low-level mod support because you can customize it to a pretty good degree. Bonkers good. Yes, they are. So it's really good to like what the ZS overview, for instance, that I've used for the longest time. It's just so good, and then you can even customize on your own and just the things you can do with it. So like, yeah, if you could just open it up just a bit more to modders, do some kind of like a Blizzard did. They opened up their UI to modding. They opened up all WoW to modding, and there are some really good mods out there for World of Warcraft as a result. And honestly, I think I think people would jump on the opportunity to mod for EVE Online. Like, they'd probably jump on that so hard. We'd have like 1,000 mods out in a day. Probably people working on it right now just be like, Please give us the option. So um yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it's not like if they just open it up to LUA scripting and XML, and that's really all you need to do. Like, you could make so much good content with just that. Yeah, so they're doing visual enhancements, improve the look and experience, high resolution nebula, level of detail optimizations, new particle of part. There would be a Hello Kitty UI out in about 5 seconds, and I'm here for it. Yes, Spoopy would just rep Hello Kitty UIs just for the rest of the year if they did that. Like, we'd just all jump into Hello Kitty on our Eve clients. It would be perfect. It'd be beautiful. Okay, CCP. I think I say this to you guys every single stream. Spell check, please. Spell check. Particle. Pariticle. Please. Spell check. All right. And it's you guys do great, but just I know it's hard. Especially with long articles like this. Piratical. Yes. This is being backed with technical support through the upcoming Fidelity FX integration. That's actually exciting. Improving performance for medium and low-end machines, bringing a more beautiful Eve to all. And then, of course, on to day 2. And they've got a cool little video here, which we won't play on stream because reasons. Demanding the descendants of literal Vikings. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not so much demanding, just kind of heavily pointing it out. Just, heavily pointing it out. I mean, we have computers to do it for us, is all I'm saying. Just run it through the spell checker. Art. It's all good. All good, Al. So that's it for the first day. The second day was much longer. And they went into a lot. So I'm gonna try to just kind of, again, keep it light as I can. We'll see. Again, they have the keynote. Watch in full. CCP is awesome, and they do Twitch as well. Let's get started. Factional Warfare. They talked about iterating and improving on content and systems such as structure mechanics, territory control, ship and fleet balance activities, faction warfare complexes, and amazing new battlefield sites. That's actually kind of interesting to hear. The goal with these improvements is to create meaningful dynamic geography in New Eden, reward player loyalty to their chosen faction, make players' choices have greater impact in the factional warfare context, create lots of new content for pilots of all kinds, and encourage more of you to become part of shaping the player-driven stories the new faction warfare system is designed to create. So that's and as I say, there's a lot going on, so they're putting care and consideration and making sure they all work together. Different, they want to bring them players together in ways that see different play styles. So we're talking faction warfare, mining, rock PvP too as well, guys. Like, we're just gonna sit out there in faction warfare space and just munch on other factions' rocks or something too. I mean, we've got miners. Maybe they want to PvP with rocks. right? Um, we'll also be introducing a new system for creating allegiance and loyalty to bring the best out of faction warfare. You'll be able to declare allegiance to a faction. Let's steal your rocks. Steal your rocks. So it's good to see that they're connecting, they're separating but connecting to standings. So they're just kind of enhancing on the already massively overburdened standing system. But there you go. You'll also see that NPC factions will set their own goals, adding to the dynamic, ever-changing experience of factional warfare that factional warfare will soon offer. Players will be rewarded for helping them achieve the goals, and success or failure will never be predetermined. Here's hoping that's true. You know, and they talk about, you know, or sharing in the system will let you share in the organization's successes by joining in with more of their endeavors. You're rewarded, so ally with your empire of choice, perhaps even a pirate faction. Okay, so it sounds to me when Fac War finally gets its update, all of us in Spoopy are going to go become even more dirty pirates than we already are. Just saying, that's what it sounds like to me. We're going for it. I'm almost positive it's going to be a decree by our CEO. I can see it. I can already hear the announcement being typed up. Dynamic frontlines. 180 total star systems form the setting of the current factional warfare, with each being entirely equal in terms of gameplay. Exactly. Pirate Cat Malgazel. That's what I'm thinking. Like we're gonna be a pirate faction. And you know what? Honestly, that's a lot more interesting to be a pirate faction in factional warfare than being one of the four. While I would probably jump on the opportunity to join Amar in a heartbeat, if I had the ability to be a part of a pirate faction against the four empires in this with my corp, I absolutely would do it, because it's just been so stagnant amongst the four for so long. Like, I mean, anything to shake it up. I'm a big fan of Amar. You know this, Al. You know I'm a big fan of Amar. I don't know how many times I'd post it. Everywhere. But yeah, so star systems which border an enemy controlled system will become clearly marked on the in-game map, just like we just said. You'll find better rewards, faster turnover than seen in other systems, and more unique added content. And the existence of uncapturable high-sec systems will ensure there's always a front line, even if the war zone is dominated by one side. So it's great that they thought about that. And I love that. In Rust, you bust. Be bold, fly gold. That is amazing. I love that saying. I'm probably gonna steal it. I'm gonna steal it. Oh, man. So like I said previously, this has crazy good Planet Side 2 vibes. The way they're setting this up. And it sounds like when they iterated into it, just this kind of more so solidifies what I was thinking. And the idea too that they always have a system for a front line for action is even better. Because you just don't want the content to dry up or one side to just overly dominate and nobody be able to get in. Again, this is another thing that they're, in some ways, I think they're thinking of the new bros or the alphas or people that are just wanting to dip their toe into factional warfare. This is a great compromise. So if they can keep on that, you know, they keep on that momentum, they might really be able to pull it out. You can set your goals So they have their own agenda, declare objectives to see them achieve. They'll be introduced through narrative elements. I'm still feeling Clear Skies vibes on this. And the victory conditions will be explicitly clear. Players who assist their allied faction in achieving stated objectives will be generously rewarded. And by adding new gameplay experiences via faction warfare, we can service a wider range of interests and types of pilot. That means bringing more people and more life into the warzone, which in turn will be supported by new goals, new activities, and new content. The work here is ongoing, and we are carefully examining and exploring how new faction warfare objectives could include activities such as warzone logistics, battlefield salvaging, hacking, espionage, and more. That's really exciting to hear. Really, really exciting. I mean, they're kind of going all out with these thought processes. So if they can even include just like half of what they're talking about here at the end, it's gonna look great. Like really, really, really good. They're rebalancing structures, motivating more attacks and interaction. Adjustments will ensure the era of near instant replacement of destroyed flex structures comes into an end. That's going to be interesting for soft warfare, by the way. The fact that they're trying to find a way to stop the mass replacement of structures. They're going to working to offer more open tactical windows before defenders can replace them. Capital ship retether time will also be adjusted to more appropriately scale with their larger HP. Again, with a view to improving interactions with structures. They're putting a lot of care into improving gameplay and counterplay around Ansiblex gates, and they're going to continue to replace POS functionality in terms of forward operating bases with limited capacity and services. So there's that word again, forward operating bases. I've heard this before in the past, where they were talking about replacing POSes with FOBs. So we're talking like mini beachheads here. For those of you that, let's see here, the good lined insta-warp routing carriers. Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't be able to tether on a structure they can't dock at, in my opinion. Like if they're going to tether on something, it's got to be something that they can actually dock at, or they just have to be behind a POS shield or something like that. Oh, did I smack it too hard? I'm sorry. A 5-minute timer. Oh. But yeah, like I mean, okay, a 5-minute timer wouldn't be too bad. I was just thinking, like, if they can dock at the structure, they should be able to tether. But oh. Well, that's why you don't rat in a carrier, rat in a Gila or Gila or Gila, however you want to say it. Straight savage. Well, hey, I mean, the more chances to get you take care of a couple of different birds with a few confessors this way. Right? I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Like, it would be an interesting mechanic to see if it would actually play out well. It would probably get a lot of backlash, but I can see like a timed tether working out probably a little bit better, at least. But honestly, if you're fielding that much ISK on the field anyway, like, you need to have a backup plan. Like, that's, you nullsecers can't just go undock your carrier and have fun and not worry about everything. That's not fair. It's not nice. Maybe I'm still a bit salty because I'm technically Eve homeless still. Yeah, exactly, and not expect to have like spoopy drop on you. You know, we will find you and and we will bomb you. And those bombs will hurt. We'll hit you with our stealth bombers. I don't know. It's but at any rate, the idea of gameplay and counter gameplay around Ansiblex gates, I know that's been a big hot topic too. So, you know, I mean, I'm interested to see kind of how that's going to kind of play up in some ways. All right. And like I was saying about the fobs, what's a good example? What was it called? There sometimes you get a forward operating base from like an NPC pirate faction that pops up. That's where you get the diamond rats from. So this is a 2-minute window where anybody can jump. That way you can't just escape. And Sublex gate jumping should set a 2-minute window where anybody can jump. That way you can. Yeah. So if it's being attacked, then it gets kind of opened, right? And yeah, I could see that. I could see how that could work. And that makes sense. Yeah. 2-minute window. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Because like if you're running, you shouldn't be able to just fight on ANSI with another faction and just jump over and be fine, and them not be able to pursue you. That's pretty cheesy. Dirty nullsector tactics. We can't do that with our wormholes. But you guys shouldn't be able to do that with your Ansiblexes. So they're talking about narrative-driven design and narrative arcs. Narrative arcs being introduced into EVE. Each arc will tell a cohesive story in which you play an important role in helping to decide the outcome. Again, we're losing jump. Yeah. Again, I'm talking. This is Clear Skies. I guess it's really over here for everybody. I don't know why I keep doing, but well, you can't see my hand. Okay. So this is Clear Skies vibes right here, right? You have a narrative arc, and you decide how the story is going to go, and then that story is portrayed throughout New Eden or that area or that region or whatever. Narrative-driven events, content that ultimately leads you to a climactic moment. And then to deliver the absolute best arcs possible, you've been taking a new approach of narrative-driven design, shaped to deliver more moments where you take part in a story, unfolding on a grand scale that leaves permanent marks on New Eden. So, hopefully this isn't like a WoW Cataclysm type marks, guys. Because those were pretty bad marks. It means your decisions, actions, and allegiances help determine the outcome. Excuse me. So I'm focused on bringing you a more meaningful sense of belonging to your faction. Arcs do more to make you an important part of the future of New Eden. For those of you that maybe don't know, it's EVE is a big world, like a big universe. It's got a lot to it, like a whole lot. You've got factions, you've got corporations, and you've got individual NPCs, and all of these people, all these players or NPCs and factions and such, they all have stories, they all have content behind them, and not a lot of that content is front and center, but if you pay attention, all of it is backed by lore, all of it is backed by origins, dating back to when the Eve Gate was first opened and the first few explorers came through, right up to when the Eve Gate collapsed and they were stuck on that side. And I mean, the fall of civilization and the rebirth into the new civilizations and the new regions and the new, you know, factions and corporations that we have now, kind of a big point behind that. There's a lot of narrative content behind it and a lot of accessibility if it's just used in the right way. So it sounds like they're just going to finally get into that a little bit more, which is something they kind of should have been doing all along. The only bad thing behind it is it's very wordy. Some of it can be a little bit dry, which is why, you know, like doing missions is such dry content, because there's just so much to it. It's just kind of hard to digest unless you're really into that kind of stuff. But at the very least, who isn't into ISK, right? So there's that. Arcs do more, make you an important part of the future. Expansions are making their return, and we said this just on the last article. They're reintroducing expansions to EVE, which are major content releases in EVE. So they're not doing like this biannual thing or these quadrants anymore. They're doing like just full-on expansions. Big content moments presented as immersive arcs, new features, significant tech evolutions, art and audio enhancements, and much more. Their difference, though, is the new era is you can still expect a steady stream of releases, seasonal events, challenges, story progression, moments, and balance changes in between. You can expect the first in this new era for expansions is coming in Q4 of this year. So we are definitely looking forward to that, CCP. Please bring it. Show us what you got. More on heraldry and interbus credits. It'll let you show off your achievements by displaying logos, visual changes to your ships, holograms that reflect your social standings, which means Sisters of Eve rep, which is great. Kill marks, structure skins, and other customizations. You'll be able to purchase those items with interbus credits, which are earned by doing activities in-game. I wonder if that includes mining or gas huffing. I guess we'll find out. Those activities could be as simple as daily challenges or events, or something more complicated. In almost every case, the activities will be focused on the social and interacting with fellow pilots. Okay. To go along with this, there's new unified fitting window coming that will combine heraldry and modules. Okay. We're also aiming to establish strong, healthy corporations, giving their members plenty of activities and goals while providing more tools for corps to recruit, train, and retain new pilots as they grow their member base. You remember the April Fools that EVE had about the whole finding your love in EVE Online with their EVE app? I wonder if this is kind of an iteration of that, but for corporations and alliances. That'd be really interesting to see, and I really hope that's kind of a bit of the case, at least in some iteration, because it'd be really cool to see that. They're going to help corp leaders streamline their corp's activities by making interbus credits taxable, but they won't be tradable. We'll be giving corporations tools to automate these arduous bookkeeping tasks with LP tax on earned LP and value tax on sold goods on the market. In addition to the spreadsheets and space tool that exports data directly from EVE into Microsoft Excel. This is all to help strengthen corporations in New Eden. Okay. Now this is interesting, and they actually touched on this a couple months back. There's a program that's going to be introduced allowing you to manufacture or purchase items, making them available for other players to purchase. Players who participate will be rewarded with heraldry, which unlocks many cosmetic items that help you establish your individual and alliance identity in New Eden. It's all aimed to lean into EVE's player-driven economy and provide more avenues to participate in the economy and be rewarded. If I'm not mistaken, this whole thing right here, this was kind of the root of a big issue months ago when they were giving out, what was it, procurers, coveters for a small price, because it was like a $5 package and you got a ship. I don't remember if you got the modules or not. but I remember that being a thing. And they went on saying that they were going to revisit exactly how to make sure they don't essentially screw up the economy. And I think this was kind of what they were talking about originally, but without it being in this stage, in this iteration. This is good. The way that they're doing this and still finding a way to reward corporations, players, alliances. So I'm interested to see how that's going to work out. Exploration of other QL improvements. So they're doing balance changes to ship classes, including Navy ships. Adjustments to station jump clone cooldown. Please, 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 no more 24-hour cooldown. Improving the readability of maps, that would be cool. And applying a clearer focus on reducing ganking to make PvP gameplay in high sec more equitable and fun for all players. That's gonna be an interesting change if they can actually manage to figure that out, because the high sec ganking is very one-sided, and it needs to be less one-sided for sure. And that's pretty much it. They're talking about this is their closing, of course, for that, and that's as far as Fanfest Day 2 goes. That's it. So a lot of good changes on the horizon, a lot of changes we've been asking for years on the horizon. Their iterations of it, though, I think are going to be really interesting to see when they come out. It's unfortunately a lot like all of this is still like a wait and see kind of approach, but it does feel like a good direction for CCP. Like I said originally, maybe not so much a good direction for a $5 price hike on on the subscription. But Faction Warfare seems to be their biggest focus right now. And if they really bring that up the way they're talking, it might honestly be even worth close to that $5 hike, depending upon how it gets implemented. And then, of course, the expansion, the narrative stuff, I know that's going to be, that essentially takes a lot of time and resource to really bring into the fold. But they found a way to streamline that. That's going to be good. But all right, so let's go into the Sov map real quick before we get into the game. I went ahead and just pre-brought them up. So here we've got Zold the Pod that they lost Sov, and Legion of X-Death lost Sov as well in Faith. And I can't... Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a gain by them specifically. They just lost Sov. So it was probably just a restructuring, but it's gonna be... Here's Faith. Wait, or what's the miss? Tenerife. Yeah, here's Fifth. So right around somewhere in here. So here's Cosmic Coalition. I don't remember them being there last time, but we didn't really poke around and look too much. Interestingly enough, if you look, because this is where you're really going to start seeing changes with the coalition side. Same thing, Fire and Faith. And I'm not sure why they're showing Brave is still a part of Legacy on this map, because they've got us mixed in with Test still. Back here in Outer Passage. There's PanFam affiliates. But like, here's Fire. Fire's right here as well. There's Legacy, which... This is all O-Mist, if I'm not mistaken. And, was O-Mist. Wasn't Fraternity the other one? But yeah, so they're there. Fire seems to be kind of split up a little bit. We've got Fire up here, Fire in this little spot right here, and then Fire's right there. There's also, I don't think any systems. I think it was just how that turned out. And they've got neutral states kind of all throughout the whole thing. Neutral states are right up in here too in the Imperium space. So I wonder if they're going to be clearing that out a little bit. Wrecking Crews kind of got like a nice little strong presence up here in Providence. And PanFam, of course, and PanFam affiliate. And Winterco having this nice big old block. Like Jump Clone. I don't know. What do you mean, Tagan? Taghan? I said it right. I think. But yeah, something that was interesting to me also, by the way, is there's a system or two that Horde has here, and then they had, yeah, I guess that was it. The Horde's got a spot right here, and I've seen it earlier. Like Razor's right there. So, yeah, I just don't know what's going on down there, and I'd be really interested to find out. Spaceship Family. More Free State stuff. Could have sworn I saw Horde somewhere else. Unloaded Warriors, Razor. No, I guess this was pretty much it. Red Alliance and Horde right there, which really threw me off. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on there with the Sov stuff. Seems to be quite a bit of action. Not a whole lot of changes as we can see. They're losing Sov, but there's not really much in the way of gains. So I guess we'll see how that kind of shakes up. We'll keep an eye on it. You know, Thursday we'll see a little bit more as well. Here's the Faction Warfare, which that one at least had a little bit of movement. Caldari lost. Galente gained in Black Rise. So we're looking at, let's see here. I believe this might have actually been the system. Yeah, this was the system right here. So yeah, that's pretty much, that's really pretty much it as far as the Sov stuff goes. A lot of cool, interesting things happening right there. Let's go ahead and switch over into the game. I'm going to talk for a minute or two about our next most coolest, most favoritist ship out there. Well, maybe not our favoritist ship, but definitely a cool ship for those of us that are... Oh yeah, first we'll go ahead and select a faction. But for those of us that are new bros, we're definitely going to be looking into... I totally lost my frame of thought. Those of us that are alphas, the Confessor. We can look into the Confessor, but those of us that are alphas or new bros or low SP probably can't get into Confessors. I was actually thinking of... Not the Apostle. Oh, I'm on the wrong... Here we go. Sunesis. That's it. Okay, now that I've got my head in the right spot, this is an extremely versatile little ship. With the only requirement that you have Spaceship Command 1 trained to level 1, which means literally everybody can use it. This thing is quite honestly, like, as far as like a frigate destroyer, instant warp cargo, yeah, instant warp cargo Synesis, it's very, very good, just for insta warping. I probably should check. I know I got some yeah, I got some unused skill points. I'll have to use those. But like, it's got plenty of slots for low, for mid. It's just kind of really, really well rounded, with 400 calibration points for fitting some rigs. Its roll bonuses are decent enough, with its EHP being kind of meh, and it's got, if I'm not mistaken, it's got pretty decent capacitor too. So like, it can really handle quite a bit. It's got, and interestingly enough, if you look at the Gila, for instance, I want to kind of show this off real quick. Okay, it doesn't. It wasn't the Gila then. Maybe it was Hawk? No, it's the Worm. I think it's the Worm, which is just like a mini Gila. No, that's got a higher bonus to light combat drones. So I'm getting my ships mixed up then. But either way, if you look at just how the Synesis is done with its traits, you know, it's got strength to core and combat scanner probes, which it's, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually on par with the Astero. 50% bonus to drone hit points and damage, 25% bonus to light missile and rocket damage, and 25% to all small weapon turret damage. It's actually a pretty decent, well-rounded little ship. Like Al pointed out in chat, an insta warp cargo Synesis is really, really good. You can get this thing down to insta warp pretty easily. It's already at its default. Its align time is 2.8 seconds. So like, if you really wanted to just kind of fit out, you know, it doesn't take much. 2 eye stabs and you're already there. You know, or you could even go the route of astronomic, and where was it? Hyperspatials? No? Low frictions. And I think you need 2 of them. No, you need 3. 3 and then 1 of those and you're there, and then the rest of them can be cargo. Or you could get a low friction 2 and you're there, and then the rest can just be, you know, whatever you need for like warp core optimizers, for instance. I think that actually handles your warping. Faster need, okay. And it's polycarbon. No? But either way, like, you can get a cargo hold optimization. You got 690 right there. And then we can go back here, grab yourself some expanded cargo hold 2s. You know, 1.4k cubic meters just on that alone, and that's just with me just kind of dabbling around a little bit trying to figure things out. I mean, that's really good. You can transport a command center in that. You can transport it's not enough to transport like a module for, say, a citadel, but you can transport like most of your important modules. Like if you've already got a ship built and you got the hull and you need all the stuff, or if you need some PI hauled around, maybe just like some short-term PI or some rocks, or I mean, just really just anything relatively valuable could work out just fine. For combat related stuff though, like it is a bit on the squishy side. And I know there was one person that played around with the idea of using a Synesis in combat. Oops, clicked the wrong button. Let's see if I can get them. They probably posted. SS. Yeah, they talked about what you can do with the different types of Society of Conscious Thought ships in their article. So I won't go like too much into it. I don't really want to ask Kraid. I have ideas galore. Okay. Yep. But like high sec hauler, they've actually got a high sec hauler here, which is really good. And like if you wanted a nuding ship, you could have that. If you need something for like it doesn't do the scanning, or it doesn't do the hacking, because it doesn't have bonuses to hacking, like say your T1. We'll go Amar because I always loved Amar. You know, you don't have the roll bonus for the virus strengths in this case, which is unfortunate. But yeah, a poor man's Astero, exactly. Hey, Yelga. Recurring like and a bunch of vector mechanics. Oh, no big deal. No big deal. We will be more than happy to go over the BNN articles as soon as they come out. Any chance you get, no rush. I promise. There was a lot of FanFest stuff to cover anyways, so it's all good. Besides, you guys need a break. You guys need a vacation. There's it's dangerous in New Eden. You know. Let's go to Eve workbench. That tends to give me a few good ideas. But if you're looking for something that can do like level 2, there we go. What am I hitting? Multi-purpose fit, PvE, rocket drone. Actually, that's a really good. This is actually a pretty decent fit. Let's see. I'm gonna grab this one real quick so we can kind of play around with this a bit more and see if we can use this for and fit this to our own. Import. So we're going to simulate this fit. And as you can see, we can only fit 3 of anything, either 3 launchers or 3 turrets. So this is actually a really good start. And I love the fact that there's an afterburner here. The drone, the DDA, all of this right here indicates that you're going to be able to utilize this as an alpha. So if you somehow drop, yep, 3 launchers in 1 turret. That's, you know, that's actually a really good idea. You could use 3 launchers in 1 turret. So if you're an alpha, you want that little bit of extra DPS. Al is right. You can utilize that 1 launcher. or one turret. Now the question would be, of course, what turret would you use? And I'm gonna tell you the answer is whatever you're trained in, because you don't want to use more you don't want to use more SP than what you have available that you can actually train. You don't want to go out of your way. So if you're Caldari, you know, you're gonna use railguns, or I would go with something long range, because actually no, the rocket launcher is gonna mean short range. So if you look, pop in some Scourge rockets, you know, your flight range is 7.5 K meters, only like 7,500. So you would probably want to use, there we are, turrets and launchers. Talking hybrids, we're probably gonna want to use blasters in that case, and we would just go into, gets the particle accelerator. I'm not up on my blasters, but yeah, their fall off range is right there, so you're going to be getting right up underneath someone's guns if you're going that hard. But I mean, that speed means that you should have plenty of ability to track and just smash face just like that. I mean, your DPS with the Scourge rockets is already 179 HP on your volley, 175. You know, and then you've got your drones as well. So as long as you have your drones out doing damage as well, your Fed Navy Hobbs in this particular case, you know, you just make sure you have charges. I would say it's probably antimatter. Brings you up to 250 on your volley. I mean, that's really good. Really, really good. You know, and then all you would have to worry about is your EHP, your effective hit points. Something like this you'd probably want to throw into Pyfa, just so you have a general idea of exactly how it's going to work. You obviously need the processor overclocking in order to make this work. They've kind of gone out of their way to build this fit in such a way that it's at least relatively cheap. If we look at Reiki's guide, just to see if there's a way we can take this into wormhole space, which there's not. It would have to be passive. We could, but I bet we could probably handle. We could probably handle a C1 without too much issue. Any kind of a C1 site. So like if you're really hurt and you really want to try out wormholes with this, I wouldn't do a phase catalyst node. Your first wave is going to be 302 DPS. But something like the line or perimeter camp, perimeter ambush point, you're probably okay. That's without testing. And perhaps maybe what we'll do one of these days is we'll jump into a Wolf Riot. If we did a Wolf Riot, we'd want to make sure we use well, that's true. I think it's any I think it's any small guns. It's not just lasers. I think it's just any kind of a small. Well, no, that didn't work. Buddies in T1 Logi for example. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Pulsar Black Hole Cataclysmic. Red Giant Wolf Riot. Yeah. Your armor HP is 30%. Shield resist is minus 15%. Your small weapon is plus 60%. So if you were to throw this into Pyfa, you could actually get a better idea of exactly how that looks. But you need to. Oh yeah, because they'd hit you hard. And if that's the case, like, you could always, since it doesn't do, I don't think the small weapon damage bonus applies to rockets though. However, um, hmm. Hmm. Small weapons. So maybe it would include rockets. We'd have to throw in five and find out. Keep saying. Me, I do have Pyfa, so I can actually just tell you guys. If it loads. There we go. Oh. Apparently, okay, so, and I know you guys can't see this, but if I add the environment effect Wolf Riot, just do a C1, make it easy. Arbalists, charge, just do Inferno. Yep, it does apply to rocket launchers. So there you go. Like, you would have that, but again, you'd have to flip this to armor rather than shields. So you'd be looking at removing these. You'd want to keep this. You'd probably keep that and that. You'd want to remove those. And then you would adjust your mediums like so. Do weapon upgrades, missile guidance, I believe. With those you can use the charges. Probably want to do precision. I think you just need precision on those. And that brings your damage up already. No. Oh, that's right. Precision just deals with your radius. Explosion velocity. And it reduces your radius. Okay. So essentially you would do damage faster, I believe the idea. Then you'd probably want a missile range just to give yourself that extra bit, and that would increase it to 10 kilometers, which is not bad. And then you would also want to do... Oops. I think that's pretty much... I mean, it's already stable. Tracking things. I mean, you could also do a tracking computer. Kind of help with this. Might be a bit overkill. But it does give you a web. Yeah, that's true. A web would actually be the best bet in that case. See, I'm thinking of like a PvE sense, but I always forget that you can use webs in PvE. So do like that. Range within 10. So yeah, there you go. And you're already going to be up under their guns. And then from there, you just go here. You got a couple different ways you could do this. If you're doing a C1 by yourself, I would imagine you would probably want to do, and I wouldn't recommend doing a C1 by yourself. But you'd probably want to make sure you active tank it. And 2 smalls. Or at the very least, you could do an ancillary and load it up with nanite paste, which would be helpful. And then just put some plate on it. Actually, plate wouldn't be as good as doing a multi-spec. No, I guess that still doesn't really get you where you want to go. Yeah, you're probably going to be looking at that's there. Okay. Are they partners? Reactive? No, because that's still remove the DDA. Okay, yeah. And you could do 2 energized multi-specs from there. Like 2 compacts. It'd still get you to 51%, but oops, it didn't go. There we go. Yeah. So, I mean, something like that could work. Got these. You'd have to remove those. You'd also remove that at that point. Oh, the drone. Oh, the DDA. Ha! Okay. We'll go back to the damage control. There we go. And on that note too, you know, you want to think about probably the nano pump, which I believe increases the amount that gets repped, right? Yeah, increases the amount. And the accelerator, which would increase how fast. And then the only other thing that I could think of would be like a missile. Well, those actually. Oh yeah, okay, these would be fine. I believe that increases your overall. Not that one. Yeah, like something like that. And then you just have to drop in your charge. Your nanite paste right here will give you 179 HP repaired per 4 seconds. So as long as your DPS, as long as you can keep under their guns and keep under their attacks, you can essentially just. And I know that the capacitor looks scary, but if you take it off, it's stable. So you're only pulsing your armor repper, and that's pretty much it. Your drones are doing most of your damage, since they're doing 93. Your missiles aren't the ones doing everything. They're just kind of augmenting your damage, and you're staying under their guns, so you take less damage, because if you're orbiting fast and hard, generally speaking, the other you're only going to be maybe getting glancing blows and not like smashing hits against you. So that should help you to remove them pretty quickly. Also keep in mind, the damage you're going to be doing, or you're going to be needing to go for, like in perimeter ambush point, for instance, the DPS is 182. So you're repping 179 HP. So once they hit your armor, you're hitting that rep pretty much immediately. And every, and I mean, every 4.3 seconds, you're getting that repaired. You have 1,000 HP, and you're only absorbing 42% of each damage type's damage. Everything else is getting blocked. That's kind of the general gist of how that works. Their EHP, like on the perimeter ambush point, like your trigger, the awakened escort, which is what is T? Oh, that's tower. Okay, so you wouldn't be doing the ambush point. Let's pick a different one. Let's pick perimeter. Yeah, those have turrets as well. These all have towers. Oh, here we go. The line. So that's probably the one you're going to be doing. Your trigger is the Awakened Watchman. It's a cruiser. So if you're orbiting that thing and you're hitting the other frigates, their alpha damage is like 115 and 95 respectively. And there's 4 and there's 3 of them. Each of their DPS though is like 16 and 12 respectively. So you've got 4 16 DPS coming in, and you've got 3 12 DPS. But their EHP is 3,000 and 2,000. With you doing damage at 173.2 DPS, I mean, you won't be chewing through them super quick, but you're going to be doing it fast enough that, they're not going to be able to catch up. And as long as you take them all out before you worry about your trigger, you'll have time before the next wave comes up. Your biggest problem is probably going to be the wave 3, the Awakened Watchman in this particular case, because it's 5 cruisers. They've also got nuding pressure. And we have to test this. Yeah, we do. And we will at some point. I have to find a C1 wormhole, and then I'd have to go in there and see if they actually have that. So, but I do want to test it. I'm actually going to save this. There we go. So we can, but yeah, at 42 million ISK, that's not bad. So, not including the Synesis. The Synesis itself, I guess it's only 17. So if like you get the Synesis for free, and everything else is going to be like 20 mil ISK. So there you go. Like that could easily work. But yeah, your Awakened Watchmen are going to be hitting you pretty hard with their nuding pressure at negative or at 30. So that's if you were doing that, I believe that's, if you did that in Pyfa, I believe it's 3 T2 small newts. If you were actually doing it on like in Pyfa as a test. The negative 15 here on wave 1. Again, you're going to want to take out the Watchman first anyways, which I know you guys can't see that part of my screen. 4 emergent patrollers and 3 emergent watchmen. Both of them are all 7 of them are frigates. The emergent watchmen are newts, and they're also easier to take out, so that's a benefit. So yeah, switch the blaster for an AC. No cap use. Oh, let's see. Auto cannon. There. What is that under? Projectile? Yeah. Actually, I think, yeah, that's true. Then you don't have to worry about your DPS dying. The only thing you'd have to worry about is your your ability to web probably dies. Let me see if I can even use medium energy, medium projectile. Yeah, I should be able to do that if I can use medium projectiles. Okay, so I can do T1 projectiles. What about missiles? I got T5, but I don't have rocket specialization yet. And while I'm in here,
skill training.
Fix that. So yeah, if I were to switch over to my main, I definitely could do that. What are we talking about? Like a light scout, 125. Could probably fit a little bit bigger one. Yeah, I could do like a light prototype. That's the highest meta version of that. And then the charges for that, I believe you'd want to use phased plasma, right? Yeah. Actually, we might even try to do depleted uranium. I think that does less DPS. Yeah, so phased plasma would be the one. And of course, once you get to the Tech 2 versions, you can substitute for Tech 2 as well on these. And then, yeah, so this would be a pretty solid, well-rounded build. Where are we? We'll update it. That way it's there. We do need to add in... Oh, yeah, right. We do need to add in some depleted uranium. We need to add in some nanite repair paste. We'll probably want to do like... I always do 50 nanite repair paste, and I'll just do actually we'll do 500 depleted uranium. And then I like to increase the rocket to about 500 as well, just to make sure we have enough to do a few sites. And the only other thing you'd probably want to include, and it won't let me include it here, is the only other thing you'd want to include is like an MTU. So if you're doing this in wormhole space, as you kill the rats, their wrecks get sucked into the mobile tractor unit, and then you just got to go pick it up when you're done. It'll let you focus on fighting, and you don't have to worry about loot collection because it's being done for you. So, kind of one of those things that you kind of gotta keep. One of those few things you gotta automate, especially if you're doing wormhole ratting like that. But yeah, so that's kind of the Sunesis in a nutshell. It's a very, very versatile ship, and it can be utilized for just about anything. And given that, on Thursday, I may go ahead and try to actually, like Al was suggesting, we should test this thing out. And I'm honestly feeling pretty confident about this build. So on Thursday, I think that's what we'll go ahead and do once I finally get my Sunesis and I get it. I'll get it ready to go and try to find a C1 wormhole, maybe just like safe log somewhere. I don't know. Figure something out. But at any rate, that's time to die in a fire. I don't want to die in a fire, but yeah. I mean, at the very least, it would be a fun ride. I'm not gonna complain as long as it's a fun ride. But I mean, yeah, so there you go. From here, we'll go ahead and select ourselves a faction. Wonder if I could do polls. You guys like polls? See if it'll let me. I guess I have to be on the site to do it. That's annoying. Underworld? Oh, that's a good question. They're linked to the Caldari and Thucker organizations. So I don't think so. Shield then. Okay. Alright, there we go. All right. Yes, I want to do that. There we go. Okay. Question. Which action? We'll allow additional votes. Duration. We'll just do it for like that way everybody gets a chance to look at it. All right, so I'll go ahead and pop up a poll. Let you guys pick which one we're gonna do. We're gonna fight the good guys or the bad guys. I think I did that right. Who do we get to be, guys? Who do we get to be? And while we're doing that, right. Remember, if nobody chooses anything, I get to choose. I thrive on interaction. Oh, and I'll go ahead and announce this now since we're waiting. For those of you that like cats, my space cats are finally making their own debut. I finally figured out how to make Snapchat work. So I've got a public Snapchat made just to post pictures of my cat. So if you like kitty cats, I'm posting my cats on my Snapchat. You can find them in my link tree. That's where I put it. All right. I think smugglers are going to win today. There we go. So yeah. Oh, looks like it. So for this event, it looks like we're going with the bad guys or the good guys, depending upon who you think are the good guys. All right then. Receive extra rewards for attacking and hacking the other side. The rewards for each faction are equivalent, and you will not be penalized for attacking both sides. So there's no wrong choice. Yay! Let's confirm the choice. All right. Aim to misbehave. And oh, it's not gonna let me. That's odd. I'm so used to being able to do whatever I want with this. All right, well, All right, take it easy, Al. Have fun working? Question mark. Have a good time either way. All right, so. Oh, and before we undock, let's do this. Eve Pulses, 16.7 thousand players or accounts logged in. Whether or not those are all players is up for debate. All right, so our rewards that we can earn are things like agency overclockers. We got some skins, buzzard, cheetah, falcon, rapier, rain, prowler, widow, and panther. Okay. So again, just like before, we're gonna be setting up for some hacking sites. That's what we're gonna be looking for. In this case, I'm gonna go ahead and redeem the scan booster. Oh, thanks for the sub, Al. I appreciate it. I'm not sure why it didn't pop up. Thought it. I know it told me, or it told me in chat. That's strange that it didn't do anything. But either way, oh, there it goes. All right, the whole thing is just slow right now. But thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it. Oh, that's so amazing. All right, let's get going. We got to figure out where we're gonna go. So let's go to exploration. Oh, no, cosmic signatures. Night owl. Take it easy. Not letting me. Not. There we go. All right, we've got there's 6 signatures in Horja mold. We may go ahead and just scan around here to start off with. Barakrik has 4, with Devink also having 4. So we're gonna go ahead and I think we'll just start here and just see what we get. All right. Load these up. First things first, I kind of want to see what's in the area. We're obviously not close to anything. So but we are close to a few things. Let's go ahead and start. Where are we at? Okay, let's start here. I kind of want to make sure that I'm not infringing on other people's scanning and machine. I just want to make sure that they're also not just gonna pop up out of nowhere too, like the other ones did. Okay, it doesn't look like it. Let's go ahead and get into the scan time. Figured. Okay, boosted scan strength and it boosted scan resolution, but it didn't really show the overview. So hopefully we actually get the bonus. All right. All right. Oh. Okay. close enough to see these guys. Let me... all right there. No, I won't see him. I'd have to actually warp him. That's kind of disappointing, but that's all right. Okay, we have a combat site, so we know that that's not something we're going to be looking for. If I had to guess, that's probably the Lord Bastion thing too. I'm gonna warp here.
Warp drive active.
Okay, there's just somebody in a Gila. I think we might be running into the same thing. I think one of these is like a Cisper's estate, or however you say that. Cisper's estate. No? It is another actually, both of these are combat sites. Okay, so that answers that question. And these might all just end up being the same thing. If push comes to shove too, there's enough places out in like a Mars space we could probably hit that don't see a lot of action. Oh man, itch on my butt. Don't see a lot of player action. That might actually help us out in finding what we're after. We may just go ahead and take a quick jaunt down there. That way we can have a slightly better chance of finding something. Still got about roughly an hour more of time. Okay, crumbling angel relic excavation. I mean, it's definitely not what we're after, but it's nice to see that there is something there to grab if we wanted to grab it. Go ahead. Just try to see if I can get that. There. Okay. And as I've said in the past, you know, the high sec data and relic sites tend to not produce a whole lot of results, or be really worth anybody's time. It's just kind of the unfortunate truth. I'm gonna have to expand that, bring that out. Let's see, and this one also might be the contested legendary stronghold. We'll see. We'll see what it pops up with. Yeah, it's another combat site. Just so we've made sure we've hit all of our bases. launcher and see what this is. Yep, other combats. It's kind of what I figured. We are kind of in an interesting little cluster here, so let's head down. Yeah, head through Resbroco. I don't know that I necessarily like the idea of doing that. I do like the idea of going to Derelict, though. I may actually have us just do that. If we only have to go through. That may actually not be bad. Assuming that it's been pretty quiet. Hasn't necessarily been quiet. But I don't think it's necessarily been loud. We're gonna give it a try. Probably gonna regret it. But we'll see. Reload while we're waiting. It is 14 jumps, which is unfortunate, but we'll have a bit of a better time if we get into a high-sec region that's probably not seeing nearly as much action. And we'll be on the Amar side of everything too, which is by and large going to be better for what we're doing. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Hit that. Let's see. While we are doing that, check out a few things. Been a hot minute since I've seen Magico. There's some smuggler combat sites. So we're looking for a Concord mobile impound site. You can find the Concord mobile impound lot hacking sites in Highsec, Nullsec, Potchman, and Wormhole space. Okay. That's actually really good to know, because if this doesn't really pan out, then we may go the route of finding a wormhole to pop in. Wormholes are going to be a lot less contested anyways, so that could actually be more to our benefit. And by the way, when my ship, the L0L TAC GG Naomi Prime, enters warp, once stream is done, it does look this cool. Just gonna throw that out there. All right, here we go. Don't blow up. Still have a few more low sec systems to get through.
Warp drive active.
Strange to me that it's so separate. Okay.
Warp drive active.
This one's empty. Oh wow, there's a lot of cosmic signatures in here. kind of tempted to give this one a shot. Just to see if we could.
Warp drive active.
You can find anything.
Warp drive active.
Cosmic signatures. There is a wormhole there, so we could easily just pop into that wormhole. That actually might be a good idea. Let's go ahead and scan it down. Oopsie. I need to pay more attention to actually creating my bookmark to keep myself safe. There we go.
Warp drive active.
There it is. Gas site. Let's not sit here. Always best to not just sit around, make it look like we know what we're doing. We actually need to know what we're doing, right? That's always a good thing. Okay. So it's a data site. Let's see what kind. Now, one thing to point out, of course, is that these particular data sites, if for some reason this turns out to be one of those special ones, the event ones, they're supposed to be harder to crack in low sec, so I'm willing to give them a shot. But we'll see. See how it works out. It is a smuggler stash. I don't think I can go into that, can I? I don't actually think I can go there. But we're gonna find out. I'm gonna give it a shot. See what happens. considering the fact it's the first one I've ever found. Another gas site. Data analyzer. Looks like it'll let me hack it, so let's give it a shot, see what we find. Oof. Yeah, okay. So definitely a lot tougher already. Wow. They are definitely a lot tougher. Let's get over to the next one. Let's keep seeing what we can find. Increase the skin. Okay, well, that's not too bad so far. Okay, good. Found it. Okay. Smuggler lockbox. Come on. Let me out. Stuck. There we go. I don't think it, yeah, I guess. All right. That was no good. Okay. Oh, good. Found this one too. Very nice. Okay. Very decent payout there. Last one, 75 kilometers away. Okay, more combat sites. There was another wormhole apparently I found. That's good. Wow, this is really just fighting me at every turn. Yeah, figured I was gonna lose that one. No surprise there. This is the last one, so I do hope that I actually make it out with this. To complete this one, that'd be pretty nice. Oh, good. That was extremely fortunate. Okay. Another 8 mil. I'm not going to complain about that, that's for sure. Actually puts us in a pretty good situation overall. Let's make that one green, and then we'll see what these last couple ones have to offer. Or not. Looks like we just got somebody that entered in.
Drive active.
I'm not personally going to take a chance. The bright side about this, we can get there and we can get everything sold. This is a K162 unknown larger ship, so it's either a C2 or a C3. Sure looks like a C2 to me. Yeah, the Heron. I'll just let him do whatever he wants there. Oh, fun. Warp disruption batteries right there on scan. But it doesn't look like it's an active pause. Probe scanner shows quite a bit. It does definitely look like a 2. I don't see any structure. Alright. Alright, I think we're gonna go ahead and okay, can't all cloaked. Stop. Save that. Go ahead and head over to here.
Warp drive active.
A solar cell. I think that's actually a C3. Go. Still some more warp scrambling. Yeah, it's just more dead empty posits.
Warp drive active.
Drop those. And we'll just begin our scans here. This should be fine. First things first. Make sure we grab. Go. Low enough. My cat woke up. And I don't know where she's at. On my chair like she shouldn't be. Yes, you're on my chair like you shouldn't be. Oh, I was very far away from this. Yes, hi. Come on. Up there. On the places where you like to be. There you go. Alright, now we can ignore this result. Okay. I thought I did. Lay there. Yeah, be good. I know, you probably just woke up, didn't you? She's been asleep like most of this night. So. Alright, let's scan here and see what we can pop up with. Got some smuggler hideouts here already. There are a couple of data sites, so let's go ahead and poke our noses into here. See what they turn up. Yeah, we're gonna poke our noses. You know, they can just barely see you. Are you trying to get over to me? You come up over here. The Central Serpentis. There you go. Better. Did you not? I can't see anything. Guess that's active. No, don't do that. Don't chew on that. Another. So they're both Serpentis sites, if I'm right. Don't chew on that. Go on. All the way. Go on. She's such a butt sometimes. Don't chew on that. We talked about this. No. 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 And that still didn't scan down fully. No. Let's say hi to the bunny. Yeah, we have a space bunny. Stop it. Be good. I'm gonna start papping you really hard. Stop. No. No. No, 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 no. I don't care how many times you chew on me, no. The answer's gonna be the same. Oh. Yeah, Central Angel. No. Stop. No. Be good. Be good. Stop. Yes, I love you too. But I don't like you trying to pull off my Velcro. Go on. It's up there for a reason, but go on. Go do something else that doesn't involve pulling off my wires. Come up here. Wow, that one went really far. We can try to find one more of these sites. It'd be really cool if we could find one more. This one's just not scanning down. So either that means it's a really good relic site, which it could easily be, which I'd be down for that too. Lo and behold, it's definitely a relic site. Okay, so those were 2 Serpentis and an Angel site. I didn't actually realize that to begin. So let's see what kind of relic site it is. Because, I mean, relic sites are still good, even as an explorer, even though we're not necessarily technically looking for these because we're trying to do the Capsuleer stuff. Okay. Frontier Quarantine. Yeah, this is definitely a C3. Alright, let's see what we can find. This one. Yeah, she's just staring at me from behind me. She's just talking. Meow wow, meow wow, meow wow. There you are. Did you decide to come back up here? I found yet another site. This could easily be a really good relic site or one we can't really get into. What are you doing to my monitor? Why are you doing that? Don't do that. Hey, don't lick my monitor? Why are you doing that? Ah! Be good. What are you doing? I know I've got to clean my monitor, but don't be silly. There you go. Great. Let's see what we got here. Another, it's a recursive depot this time. Okay. Now, keep in mind, I don't know what this particular wormhole statics are. I did not bother to plug it into to Pathfinder to find out for us. So that's a bit of a drawback there. But, I mean, it's fine. Given what we're actually trying to do tonight. This one doesn't scan either, so I don't think this is going to be one of our event sites. Strange, though, that the... Okay, so we've got another data site. Let's see what this one turns out to be. It's a level 3 as well, though. But it won't, even if we do scan it down, it won't be as hard to actually run if this is one of the specialized ones, as the other ones were. So, because the other ones were actually very hard to run their hacking sites on. Ah, it is another smuggler drop. So we're going to go ahead and run this. It looks like we're the only ones here from what I can tell right this second. Okay, there are only 3 of them in here. So there is less loot because it's not low stack. But that's fine. All things considered. We'll just hit this, and then we'll try to make our way back to high sec real quick. Not true to their nature. I mean, these aren't exactly nearly as difficult. They're still rough. They're still spread out way farther than I would like them to be. Come on. Which is unfortunate, but they're easy enough to do. I mean, we got 2 mil out of that. So if nothing else, we get back, we sell this, we make up the amount of our ship. Not bad. Not bad at all, considering the fact that, okay, so the ship's Well, that's right. This is actually a little bit different. This did not run as fast as it was supposed to. I like the music in here. I don't know if you guys can hear it, because I do have my audio, you know, downscaling going on when I talk. But the music in this site is something else. Like, it's really good. I mean, to actually have a different subset of music, and this one's gonna have, there it is. Okay, another million. That's not bad. But yeah, if you guys can hear that, that's really, really good. Like, they came up with music specifically for these sites. So really kind of gives you that sense of urgency. And it's good stuff for them. Getting a lot of blips and beeps on my interstellar data pad. Oh. There we go. All right. And another mill. So about 4 mil from this site. I don't know that that's necessarily the average, but it's good to kind of have a frame of reference for that. Look at that. Art team did a great job on these sites. I got it. My kitty's mad at me. It's okay. So the sites that we entered don't necessarily get us to where we need, like where we need to go in this particular way. Like, you know, it doesn't get us the points we need. They're still obviously valuable. We've gotten things that are going to matter in the long run. Let's see here, but the Imperial Navy skin was the one that really sold us. There's a shield booster that's not worth anything. The lock boxes are worth quite a bit. Second.
Drive active.
Let me just pull this out here. Give you guys a chance to see. Precious alloy. That's kind of interesting. Be reprocessed. So we found that. So does that mean that the alloys are gonna make a return? Like they did, like how you used to get them off of drones? That would be really cool if they did. Not gonna lie, that I would be down for that, because that would be really cool. Hey, Kilowatt, how's it going? Let's see here. What else could have caught? No. Trying to find. So it's just. Yeah. Okay. So it's just those two. Not bad. Right, we made it out alive. Go us. Go team. So yeah, the loot found in the wormhole isn't gonna be crazy amazing like like it would be in low sec. Low sec is really where the main dangers are going to be at. That's where the main loot's going to be at. It's good to see a draw to loot. A draw to low sec. We used no. Go on. My cat is once again going after my Velcro strips. You're stepping. You're clicking buttons. We talked about that.
Permission requested.
Oh.
Docking request accepted.
Give me just a second. She's going after yet another one. No. Go on. Be good. Okay. At any rate, we did arrive where we needed to. She is getting very angsty and active on me. So I will probably go ahead and call it here. I do apologize. But if she's going to be this active, I probably need to figure out if she wants food or if she's wanting water or something else. Right? Right? Yeah. Poor thing. Never gets love, never gets attention. It's so hard being a cat, I'm telling you. Especially a space cat on a ship. Right? Yeah. Poor thing. All right. But at any rate, it is pretty much approaching our 3-hour mark anyways. So, and we did finally get to some loot sites. Let's see here. It's supposed to be going on until... It's supposed to be going on until like the 25th. So we'll have more time to do it on Thursday. Check out some patch notes. We'll check out that Siege Green that's finally dropping tomorrow, and we'll get to check it out on Thursday. That's gonna be exciting. I'm looking forward to that one. I've been itching to check out the details on that quite some time, so glad to see it. Also, I'll finally have a Synesis. We'll get one set up. Maybe we'll find ourselves in a C1 wormhole. Maybe I'll just go into CC and we'll just play around there and see what that looks like. Because honestly, that could be a lot of fun. Just do that. But either way, we'll give it a shot. We'll just have ourselves a good old time on Thursday. Beyond that, until then, thanks for everyone who tuned in. Appreciate all the likes and the follows and our new sub. Welcome to the team. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the verse.